Have you ever wondered what items Fema might target in a crisis? In times of uncertainty, it's crucial to stay one step ahead. While we all hope for the best, preparing for the worst is a wise strategy. One of the potential challenges that we may face is government intervention. It's a reality we can't afford to ignore. Whether it's Fema or other government agencies, the possibility of our essential items being confiscated or restricted is a sobering thought. It's not about inciting fear but about fostering an understanding of the possible scenarios we might encounter during a crisis. This understanding allows us to prepare effectively, ensuring our resilience in the face of adversity. So what are we talking about here? We're looking at the top 15 items that could potentially be targeted by Fema or other government agencies when the stuff hits the fan, or as we like to say, SHTF. These are not just random items. They're essentials that many of us have stocked up on and rely on in times of crisis. Imagine a scenario where access to these items is suddenly restricted or they're outright confiscated. Unsettling, right? We're talking about things like firearms and ammunition, vital for self-defense, communication devices such as radios and satellite phones, crucial for staying connected, emergency food supplies, our lifeline when the grocery stores are empty, clean water, the most vital resource of all, prescription medications and first aid kits without which health crises could escalate, fuel reserves for keeping the home fires burning and vehicles running, survival gear to protect us from the elements, high-demand items like batteries, hygiene products, and tools, cash and precious metals, our financial safety nets, seeds and fertilizers for self-sufficiency, alternative energy sources to keep the lights on, construction supplies for necessary repairs, private vehicles for mobility, and personal documents that prove who we are. This list might seem extensive, but it's essential to consider the full range of possibilities when preparing for a crisis. So, what exactly are these items that might be in danger? Stick around to find out. Number 1 on our list is firearms and ammunition. These are critical for self-defense and maintaining order during uncertain times. Yet, in a crisis, government entities like Fema may seek to control access to these items. The goal, to ensure public safety and maintain order, but this could leave many of us feeling vulnerable. Next up, we have communication devices, think radios, satellite phones, and the like. In the throes of a crisis, controlling the flow of information becomes paramount for those in power. They might restrict access to these devices to prevent coordination among dissenting groups. Once again, this could leave us disconnected and in the dark. Third on our list are emergency food supplies. We all know the importance of having a stockpile of non-perishable food items, but in a crisis, these supplies might be seized by government agencies. The purported reason? To ensure equitable distribution or to support government-run relief efforts. But the result? Our carefully curated supplies could be depleted. Moving on, we come to clean water. Access to this essential life source becomes even more crucial during emergencies. Government agencies may then decide to control the distribution of water. They might restrict the use of private filtration systems, pushing us to rely on centralized sources. Last for this segment, but certainly not least, are medical supplies. Items like prescription medications, first aid kits, and medical equipment could be confiscated. These could be used to bolster government-run healthcare facilities and response efforts. But for those of us who have meticulously gathered these supplies, this could leave us without the medical resources we need. But we're just getting started. Let's move on to the next 5 items. Fuel reserves come in at number 6. In times of crisis, gasoline, diesel, and other fuel sources could be subject to government control. This might be to regulate transportation and essential services, potentially leading to rationing or even confiscation of private reserves. Moving on to number 7, we have survival gear. This includes items such as tents, sleeping bags, and outdoor equipment. In the face of disaster, these could be seized to support emergency shelters and aid operations. Next, we find ourselves examining high-demand items. These are things like batteries, hygiene products, and tools. In an attempt to prevent black market trading and ensure equitable distribution, these items may be targeted by government agencies. At number 9, we have cash and precious metals. During economic crises, governments may restrict access to these to maintain control over monetary systems and prevent capital flight. This means your hard-earned savings could be at risk. Finally, for this segment, we have agricultural inputs at number 10. Seeds, fertilizers, and other inputs might be regulated to ensure food security and prevent hoarding. This could potentially impact your ability to grow your own food and maintain self-sufficiency. And we still have 5 more critical items to cover. Don't go anywhere. Solar panels, generators, and alternative energy sources could be subject to government control. Now, this might seem far-fetched, but consider this. Energy is a lifeline during emergencies. Powering everything from heating systems to essential medical equipment, it's safe to say that energy sources become a hot commodity when SHTF. Hence, government agencies may seize control over these to manage energy distribution and consumption, leaving you high and dry if you're solely reliant on your off-grid power systems. Next, we move on to construction supplies such as lumber, cement, and steel. When disaster strikes, rebuilding and emergency repairs become a priority. To expedite these processes, government agencies might restrict access to these materials, prioritizing government infrastructure projects. So, if you're planning to fortify your shelter or make critical repairs, you might find yourself in a bind. Now, let's talk about private vehicles, especially those equipped for off-road travel or capable of carrying large loads. These could be confiscated to support emergency response and transportation logistics. Imagine having your four-wheel drive or pickup truck commandeered in the middle of a crisis. Not a pleasant thought, is it? Then we have computers, smartphones, and other electronic devices. These are not just tools of convenience but are also critical for communication and accessing information. In a bid to control the flow of information and prevent dissent, these devices might be monitored or restricted. So if you're relying on your device for survival information or communication, you might want to consider alternative methods. Lastly, we have identification papers, passports, and other personal documents. These could be seized or regulated to control movement and enforce government mandates during emergencies. Losing your ability to prove your identity or move freely can be a significant hindrance during a crisis. And there you have it, folks. The final 5 items that FEMA may target when SHTF. With these 15 items in mind, it's clear that preparedness involves more than just stockpiling supplies. So, there you have it. 15 items that FEMA might target in a crisis. From firearms and ammunition, crucial for self-defense and maintaining order, to communication devices that control the flow of information. Food supplies, water, and medical necessities could be seized to support government-run relief efforts. Fuel reserves, survival gear, and high-demand items may be regulated to ensure equitable distribution and prevent black market trading. In times of economic uncertainty, access to cash and precious metals could be restricted, while agricultural inputs might be controlled to ensure food security. Government entities may also take control of alternative energy sources, construction supplies, and private vehicles to manage essential services and emergency response logistics. Even our electronic devices and personal documents could be monitored, restricted, or seized to control information flow and enforce government mandates. These possibilities underscore the importance of planning strategically for potential government intervention. It's crucial to be prepared and to protect your assets. Think about how you can diversify your supplies, consider alternate storage locations, and always have a contingency plan. Remember, being prepared is more than just stockpiling supplies. It's about understanding the potential threats and challenges you might face and having a plan to overcome them. It's about staying informed, staying vigilant, and being ready to adapt to changing circumstances. And most importantly, it's about not letting fear dictate your decisions, but instead using knowledge and foresight to navigate through uncertainty. So continue to educate yourself, continue to prepare, and continue to stay vigilant. Because when it comes to preparedness, knowledge truly is power. And with the right knowledge and the right preparations, you can face any crisis with confidence. That wraps up our discussion for today. If you found this information helpful, consider subscribing to our channel for more insights on preparedness, survival, and resilience. We're all in this together, and the more we learn, the better prepared we'll be. Stay prepared, stay vigilant, and always remember, knowledge is power. Until next time, stay safe out there.